Hello and welcome. I am Josh Widdicombe. For today, I'm the curator of a place of incredible artefacts and exhibitions, a place that stores the greatest thing on earth. This is my archive of pop culture.
You can change your mind, but you cannot change your heart. Your heart knows when you're hiding. Your heart knows where you are. I'd pick myself if I knew I'd become. You don't have to fly too high to get too close to the sun. See the bird fall from the sky.
Susie,
Josh.
I want to start this episode by trying to convince you of something that I think you'll be resistant to.
You tried to do it in a hotel room 10 years ago.
Yeah. But I just wondered over Zoom whether it would be more tempting. If we both took our tops off, would that be fine? I think actually this is a worse proposition.
Oh, go on.
I think I'm going to make you think that U2 are actually an interesting band.
Oh, look, I'm not against U2. I'm just not a fan.
I totally understand.
I find it a bit samey.
Their post-2000 turnout is not for me. But the story of U2 is interesting. And it is obviously important for this story, right? So in 1976, and this is a great way for four people to come together. In 1976, 14-year-old Larry Mullen Jr., drummer, he posts a musician's wanted notice on the notice board of his comprehensive school in Dublin.
Fine, I love it. I'm in.
Seven teachers turn up. A disaster.
Nerds.
No. And Bono was the teacher.
Yeah.
7 teenagers turn up. And this includes Bono, The Edge, and Adam Clayton. They all turn up to that rehearsal. The original lineup that is still there today.
What a beautiful day.
What a beautiful, lovely, yeah. But they still haven't found what they're looking for. So 3 of them are. So 4 years later, when Larry Mullen Jr. is 18, they sign for Island Records, which is a huge record label. Do you know how Bono and The Edge got their name? It is worth discussing. You can't get it. So The Edge comes from, he's called David Evans, which isn't as cool.
No.
Although I'd say The Edge is a very uncool nickname.
Yeah, but I can imagine in the mid-80s it felt quite cool.
He got it because of the shape of his head.
Oh, God.
He says, my mum calls me Edge, so I guess that's about as official as you can get because he's got a sharp, edge-shaped head, I suppose. I don't know what that means, really.
No, neither do I.
Because he always wears that little hat.
Yeah, is he just flat?
Yes, he's just flat on top. Is that why he wears the little hat? Bono's comes from a shop, and it is a shop that sold hearing aids in Dublin called Bonovox. So he took his name from Bonovox, which is Latin for good voice. So it all kind of fits.
Oh, that's a bit arrogant.
Do you know what? If you don't like arrogant people, you're signing up for the wrong story. Because you've got so many people in this story that think they're right about everything.
You've got so many people that back themselves. It's like the Comedy Store dressing room.
Yeah, from Stan Lee to The Edge to Bono to Julie Taymor, Paul McGuinness. Spiderman's the only person with a bit of bloody humbleness in this story. This is a good story. From a year later, 1981, Paul McGuinness, this is how good he is as a manager. The Edge wanted to quit U2 and disband it because he thought God had told him to stop being in U2. They're Catholics, U2. They are Christians, U2. Bono decided that he wouldn't be in the band without The Edge, so it's all over. And Bono says, we went to speak to Paul, who heard us out. There was a pause, the room quieted, and then Paul said, am I to gather from this that you've been talking with God? And we earnestly replied, we think it's God's will. To which Paul says, so you can just call God up? And they say yes. And he says, well, maybe next time you might ask God if it's okay for your representative on earth to break a legal contract. And they go, what? And he goes, do you think God would have you break a legal contract, a contract that I've signed on your behalf, a legal contract for you to go on tour. How could it be possible for this God of yours to want you to break the law and not fulfill the responsibilities of the tour? What sort of God is this? On this, the Edge agrees, argues that they were looking for a signifier to go on, and this was the signifier for them to continue in U2.
That is bananas.
Do you think that's bananas? Which bit? Well, it depends which bit you mean's bananas.
I think all of it's bananas.
I think Paul's being very logical. He's going, these people believe God's making them quit the band. How do I talk them round?
I think what Paul's done there is pulled an absolute blinder.
Yeah, I think the whole thing that Bono and the Edge thought that God had told them to leave U2. You know, people can believe what they believe. But,
and I think people can believe what they believe. And I'm not a religious person myself. But although I am going to say, if there is a God...
He doesn't care whether the Edge is in U2.
He couldn't give a shit. He couldn't give a shit. He or she or they couldn't give a shit.
Couldn't give a shit.
I would say whether you're in a post-punk band from Ireland or not.
Doesn't touch the sides.
Doesn't care.
At least until you get to the pearly gates. And then he'd go, okay, let's have a look at the receipts here.
Isn't it like be a good person?
So U2 become big, but their big moment, their big turning point is Live Aid. Them and Queen are really the two people that like transform their careers in Live Aid. So Queen play Live Aid and they do a 15 minutes best of set. It's the most successful set of the day. And the next year they're back at the top of music and they're playing Wembley Stadium. U2's Live Aid performance is considered like the moment they reach global fame. So they're performing a song called Bad, which is I think off the Unforgettable Fire. And Bono jumps into the crowd, right? And he's basically missing for a long time. And he's got this habit of what he'll do on tour is he'll go into the audience and he'll pull a girl out the audience and dance with her, right? A bit like Bruce Springsteen with Courtney Cox in that video.
Dancing in the Dark.
And this woman who he pulls out of the audience at Live Aid, she thinks Bono's saved her life because she's being crushed and she thinks Bono's come to save her. And they do this incredibly emotional kind of slow dance. He does do this every night on tour, so I think it's just a coincidence that he's come to save her. Okay. It takes him far longer because it's at Wembley Stadium. They're not used to that. It takes him far longer to get down there, get to the audience than he expected. So they have to extend the performance of this song by 5 minutes. The band can't see what's going on, right?
So they're just playing
the riff again and again, going, what the fuck is going on? Where's Bono, right? And so they cancel their final song, Pride in the Name of Love, because they've just riffed for 5 minutes while Bono's climbed down to dance with this woman. And they leave the stage and they're like, we fucked that. That was our big chance in front of the world. Ed says we were really depressed.
How annoyed would you be with Bono?
Fucking livid. Fucking livid. What were you doing? So Bono felt it had been kind of clumsy and generally the whole thing hadn't lifted up. In the stadium, there's a feeling it's not gone well. But on TV, where people have seen on the cameras Bono getting this woman out and dancing really emotionally with her, it's an incredible moment. And it just goes around the globe. And Joan Baez, the amazing American folk singer, like legendary folk singer from Bob Dylan scene and all that, she'd never heard of U2, right? And she wrote in her journal, she wrote down, this young man, she was just watching it on TV in her hotel room. This young man is expressing himself with such tenderness, it's enough to break my heart. He calls to the audience, they call back. He is directing a choir. They are the choir. I can't recall ever having seen anything like it in my life. Out of the hours of Live Aid that I saw, by the end of the day, the high point was witnessing the magic of U2. They moved me like nothing else has moved me.
Wow.
But no one in the stadium feels it because they can't see what Bono's doing.
And so they're all totally gutted.
Yeah, and they're like, we've just stood there. Obviously, Pride in the Name of Love is a huge fucking banger.
Yeah.
We're finishing on that, and you've just gone and disappeared for 5 minutes in the middle of the set.
And then what? I suppose they find out.
Yeah, it's just like their sales go through the roof and then like everyone's like U2 and Queen stole Live Aid and all this kind of stuff. And then they become the biggest band on earth. And then they do this tour in 1991 to 1993 called the Zoo TV Tour, right? Which is Acting Baby, which is, I think, their best album, but most people said Joshua Tree, which has got like One on it and Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horse and The Real Thing, even better than The Real Thing. Like, it's a big album. And they do this insane stadium tour that just totally changes what you can do with a stadium tour. They record the album in Berlin. They become obsessed with East and West Berlin. And the set is built of TV screens on these Trabant cars, these cars that are only available in East Germany because obviously it was a communist state. And while they're recording the record, they're watching the Gulf War on CNN and flicking around German TV channels like soap operas and ads. And they're like talking about how cable TV's like blurred the lines between news and entertainment and all this thing we take for granted now.
Yeah, totally.
And so they decide the tour's going to be about the reality of what you see in a televised world and all that kind of stuff. And it's going to have video screens, right?
Very ahead of its time.
Yeah. So Bono plays a range of characters like The Fly, which is one of the songs, who's like a lounge singer from hell, and Mirror Man, who's a televangelist. He uses a giant remote to flick through TV stations that are actually broadcasting and the crowd cheer or not.
Huh.
And then The Fly performs next to all these words, like some are like, taste is the enemy of art, religion is a club, ignorance is bliss, all these things, watch more TV. There's a bit of a controversy when it's reported in media outlets that one of the phrases is bomb Japan now, which isn't true, but for some reason... For some reason, that leaks to the press that they're going around and one of the phrases, they have to deny that. They have everything. They've got a belly dancer on stage for Mysterious Ways. And so they have a confessional booth outside where fans go into the booth and they give their deepest confessions because they know people will do this because then they'll be played on the big screen. It's like, what will people do? It's like a precursor to Graham Norton's Red Chair, Susie.
But that's so theatrical.
Yeah, hugely, right?
People must have been like, what the fuck is this? This is amazing.
Yeah, it's 1991. Like,
no one's done this.
Yeah. He makes crank calls from the stage as well, Bono. So he dials a phone sex hotline. He requests a taxi. That's not as good. He orders 10,000 pizzas from the Detroit Pizza Parlor and they deliver 100 pizzas during the show to the venue. He regularly calls the White House and attempts to get through to President Bush Sr. He never gets through, but President Bush does talk about this in a press conference as well. And it is the highest grossing tour of the year. Grosses $151 million.
I mean, that's so much more money now, right? Because the tickets would have been...
It's pittance now, Susie. It's Taylor Swift's making $1 billion. Taylor Swift would laugh at $151 million, wouldn't she?
You get what I mean.
I get what you mean. I'm not saying that you've lost touch since you started hanging out with Taylor Swift. So they're kind of fascinating and incredible in the 80s and early 90s. By 2003, I think if you were to come up with an idea of where they've got to just before they do the Spider-Man musical, they're slightly more in their rock aristocracy phase, shown in 2003 when Bono's performing with Luciano Pavarotti.
Sure.
And he discovers he's left his trilby in London.
Oh, nightmare.
He's performing in Italy. What does he do? He pays £1,000 to have it flown out, especially. Is not, to be clear, in a private jet.
Okay.
But it does have a first-class seat.
Wow.
So the Trilby flies first class. The flight crew become concerned that it's going to be squashed and move it into the cockpit so it can travel with the captain. They're not concerned. They're just getting photos with the Trilby, let's be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
It arrives in time. It's delivered to Bono. And then he goes on stage for a concert to help homeless Iraqis. So it's good that he's really keeping things in perspective.
For sure.
That is the two sides of Bono there, right there, I'd say.
Yeah.
So that's the U2 that Julie then meets, right?
Okay.
So Julie begins the writing process in 2005. She's searching for a co-writer for this huge, huge show. There's like established writers. Tom Stoppard's considered and then rejected, right? And then there's this guy called Glenn Berger, right, who's not got much experience compared to her. His biggest achievement is a one-man play called Underneath the Lintel. It premiered off-Broadway in 2003. It's been staged more than 200 times around the world, but he's friends with her assistant and he says, could I submit something and see whether I could get this job? And Julie's seen Underneath the Lintel, and so she calls him in for the interview, right? And the night before, he's asked to write a sample scene. And he chooses a scene in which the Green Goblin, who's Spider-Man's nemesis, hoists a piano above the Chrysler Building, sings a lounge-style song, and then gets involved in some puppet violence and then falls to his death after realising that he was attached by Spider-Man's webbing to the piano when he's pushed off the Chrysler Building. Okay?
Sure.
As dawn approaches, he presses send. That afternoon, Julie has given him the job as co-writer.
Oh my gosh.
Little pre-warning, that scene is ultimately the reason that Julie gets removed from the project herself. And why there are so many lawsuits around the project. So that one scene he knocked up to get the job overnight in a flap becomes the defining kind of scene of the show. So 3 nights after getting the job, he meets Julie's lawyer, Seth Gelblum, at a function.
And says, we are going to be working together a lot in the future.
Glenn says, Julie's lawyer says, a couple of things. Spider-Man is going to be heavy going. And he says, there are a lot of big personalities involved in this. So even Julie's lawyer is going, you're in for a tough one here.
Go steady. Yeah.
But they get on well. By the end of July 2005, they put together a 20-page treatment. They send it to the head of Marvel Entertainment. And then Tony Adams, who's the guy who runs the production company, Paul McGuinness, U2's manager, they bring the Edge the contract. Edge goes to get a pen. And when he returns, Paul is frantic. Tony has had a stroke and Tony dies 2 days later.
Oh, no.
Like that Alan Partridge scene. You know the Alan Partridge scene where he's going to sign the contract and then for the BBC and then the guy dies? It's literally, he has gone to get a pen and then the head of the production company has died.
So then who takes over?
Well, they get in Martin McCallum, who has helped bring Les Miserables and Miss Saigon to the stage, right?
Okay, sure. He's got some credentials.
Bono and the Edge come up with a title, which is Turn Off the Dark. Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, which is quite a good title, I think, is what a friend's daughter has said at bedtime.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, sweet.
Julie comes up with the idea, right? So there's this worry about script gaps and filling in the plot and stuff. So she comes up with this thing, the Geek Chorus, which is 4 kind of school geeks who will sing as like a chorus thing, right? They'll comment on the action and fill in any script gaps. They'll kind of narrate, I suppose, right?
Also, she's still really into the Greek theatre, isn't she, of like having a chorus?
Yes, she's really into that, yeah. And they'd speak in verse and they'd sound like teenagers today. They all have a distinct personality, but they talk in unison, right? And it has to be funny. These are all her things. And her final thing is, it simply can't be hip-hop because she hates hip-hop.
Sure.
And it becomes clear at this stage that U2's knowledge of musicals is not good.
Yeah.
So someone burns them a 4 CD compilation of 60 songs of the last 60 years of musicals divided into categories.
Oh my gosh. I would be fascinated to what's on that.
Would you like that?
I wouldn't like it. But if you were just going to go, here's...
This is musicals.
Rodgers and Hammerstein.
They should just say, listen to Elaine Page on Radio 2, Bono.
That's a broad church.
Elaine Page every Sunday.
3 hours.
And so Bono then says, if I'm going to actually plop something like that onto the fucking page, it better be something that people will sing at football finals in 10 years and make everyone cry. It better be as good as You'll Never Walk Alone, which is one of the greatest songs ever written.
It's from a musical, You Never Walk Alone.
It's from a musical. Yeah. But Bono knows that, right?
Yeah, it's from Carousel.
But David's like, but that wasn't on the CD. And Bono's like, no, but obviously I know it from Liverpool FC. I don't know it from the CD, right? During this meeting, this is 2 sides of Bono. Bono has to excuse himself for 30 minutes. And when he returns, it turns out he's been on the phone to Nancy Pelosi, getting assurance that the $1.2 billion African AIDS relief would be reinstated after it looked like it would be dropped. So he's living these mad 2 lives.
A busy guy.
There's a story about Brian Eno working with U2 and saying no one can contact them. And then the phone ringing and it's Barack Obama and Bono has to just go and deal with it. And it's like Bono's both this kind of global politician and also rock star at the same time.
That's pretty cool.
Is it though? Yes, it is, yes. Things are all looking good at this stage, right? Apart from one of them's died. But then it starts to go wrong. So Julie and Glenn send the casting agency the descriptions as guidance. And they take these and they release them to every talent representative in the land. That then gets into the papers. And the secret character of Arachne, which they wanted to keep secret until previews, now becomes common knowledge, right? And initially, they are planning 12 weeks of previews, which are due to start in Chicago to allow any kind of technical difficulties to be teased out.
Yeah.
But they soon realise this is impossible, as basically all of the programmed moves, like the flying and stuff, are specific to the theatre space
To that
used.
theatre.
So it's too much work to do it in Chicago.
Is Arachne a female character?
Yes, she is, because she's the first spider, yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull at a thread of a plot, but I can't seem to find one.
Oh, what, in the show?
Yeah, like what's the story?
I'll be honest, the stories changes week on week, depending on what preview they're doing. But Arachne is the baddie, I think.
Right, okay.
They can't do the previews in Chicago, so they then decide to do the previews in New York, in the theatre they're going to do it in, right? There's only 3 non-Disney owned Broadway theatres that can stage a show as ambitious as Turn Off the Dark. 2 of them are booked for Wicked and Shrek.
Yeah, sure.
And so they've only got the Hilton as their choice. That's currently showing a flop musical of Young Frankenstein, and Turn Off the Dark will be taking it over in the Hilton, right? So Julie, at this point, is focused on how to effectively explain the story of Arachne and to correctly communicate Arachne's abilities, which are to create lifelike images in order to captivate her audience. So she's basically creating kind of images of herself in different places or whatever, right? Julie takes the inspiration from the ghosts at Disney's Haunted Mansions. Have you done that ride?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
What is it like?
It's like a ghost train, I think.
Do you remember it being specifically spectacular?
Not particularly. Is she thinking of Tower of Terror? That's quite good.
No, I don't think she is thinking. What happens on Tower of Terror?
It's like you're in an elevator and you go up to the top and then it's a free fall. But as you go through, you see into different rooms and there's like ghosts and things.
Maybe Julie's even got the wrong ride.
Got the wrong ride.
So she says it uses mirrors, glass and projectors, giving the effect of sea creatures as swimming alongside the runway. Do you remember this?
No, maybe I haven't been on it.
Either way, they're not possible to pull off. As an alternative in, she gets a 3D expert in, Gene Goldoff, who's the guy who came up with the holographic images on credit cards.
That's clever.
But then Julie realises that's not going to work in the theatre. And so she gets Michael Curry, who's a puppetry pioneer, to solve the issue. But this is a bit of a problem. She's worked with him previously on The Lion King.
Uh-huh.
She goes on his website and she sees that some of the puppets from The Lion King and the Magic Flute have omitted a credit to her for her aesthetic contribution.
People are very picky about their credits, aren't they?
It's pathetic, isn't it?
It is surprising. If you're down as the director.
You're the woman that directed The Lion King. You've gone on a guy's website and you've said, I haven't got a credit for aesthetic contribution. So she's apoplectic.
For saying that leopard's eyebrows should be higher.
She's livid at him and she makes it clear to Michael. And soon his diary becomes too busy to do Spider-Man because he has made, let's be honest, I can't say, maybe his diary does just become too busy, but there we go.
I think we've all said to Flo, can you hide behind the diary?
Can you hide behind the diary? Yeah. I mean, the pettiness of these people is absolutely wild, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose everyone's really desperate to have like their name on the thing, but I imagine that's not how they're feeling by the end of it.
Well, you'll see. You will see on that, right? Because Julie's name is still a thing. Let me tell you about the kind of person Julie Taymor is, Susie. That sounds like I've had a beef with her. Let me tell you about the kind. She cut me up on the A38 yesterday, actually. But I just want to create a picture of quite who she is, because we've said she's an artist of deep proportions.
An artiste.
So 7, she's staging backyard performances for the family in her hometown in Massachusetts. 10, she's joined the Boston's Children Theatre. By her 20s, right, she's into folklore, mythology, mime, all those things that say, you know, Spider-Man. She travels to Sri Lanka, Paris, and Indonesia, where for 4 years during her early 20s, she lives on a dirt floor compound with no running water, electricity, or telephone.
What, to make art?
Tell you who could install those telephones, Stanley. To make theatre.
Oh,
she creates and directed a trilogy called Way of Snow, which explored tensions between traditional Indonesian society and modern influences, despite the fact there doesn't seem to be any modern influences in her compound.
Well, and also, it's so interesting that an American woman's gone, and I would be the person to tell this story.
I've lived on a dirt floor for 2 years. Let me tell you about you. There's puppets and masks, and she's carved the masks herself from wood from the trees outside her house. She's pretty creative. You've got to give her that.
Oh, yeah, that's very creative. But I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because When someone does something like that and the thing that they create is a huge hit, you go, wow, what a creative process.
Yeah.
When someone does that and it doesn't, it sort of becomes, oh yeah, my Aunt Julia sort of lost her way.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah, she's nuts. And now she talks to these masks that she once made.
It's Bono dancing with the woman. He just went and fucked off and danced and blew it. Or he did this amazing thing where he danced with a woman. It's that, isn't it?
Time decides what are the big hits.
Exactly. Time decides whether you are the greatest artist of all time or fucking insane.
Yeah, and I think that the line between those two things can be paper thin.
Which is perfect for this podcast. This is a quote from her. In a way, artists are shamans, facilitators who take what's there, channel it through themselves, then put it out there for people to appreciate. Is that how you feel about yourself?
Well, it's how I always felt about your routine about Cocoa Pops. I always thought, gosh.
Is he a shaman or is he a stand-up comedian? It's difficult to know, isn't it?
Every time he says Cocoa Pops.
Am I plucking that from the air, from the spirits? Oprah says to her once, your experience as an artist is so broad, director, sculptor, designer, creator. How do you define yourself? Great question for someone like that.
Go on. She doesn't define herself.
No, she does. I call myself a playmaker sometimes, but that's just a word. I don't feel like I have a title or job description. So you're kind of right. You're kind of wrong. She's a playmaker.
She's a playmaker.
Any football fans would know that's a very important role in the team. Right. I should say, obviously, I don't think it's giving it away. Things go sour with Spider-Man, yeah?
Yeah.
She doesn't even refer to it by name anymore. She refers to it as the unmentionable these days. If she's asked about it, she says the unmentionable has lived with me much longer than the over budgets and failures of many men who've been allowed to fail. She believes, and I think there's a definite truth in this, that she, as the main woman involved in the production, has been hung out to dry far more than the men who've been involved in the production.
That would be totally believable.
Quick fun story about Paul McGuinness, Susie.
Yes, please.
It's from Louis Walsh, always a good source of a story.
What, did you ring him and say, have you got anything on Paul McGuinness? You're both Irish.
I did ring him, and he said, yeah, I once said this in an interview. I'll send you the link.
Handy.
So this is a quote from Louis Walsh. This is about a place called Captain America's in Dublin, I presume. About 30 years ago, Captain America's
Can you do the accent, please?
No, I can't do the accent, please, no. Captain America's was kind of the place to be. It was the place to go. I used to go there about once a week. It was a great place. I'll be honest, Louis, we could chip into that quote a bit.
Amazing, they put the whole thing in.
We know it's a good place, Louis.
I've got it.
And I'm in there one day, and you two are on the next table. Nobody really knows them. They're just starting and rehearsing. But they are ambitious, and Bono is there. And they are talking out loud, and I hear them saying that they want to get rid of their manager, Paul McGuinness. And I'm listening and thinking, this can't be real. I know Paul, he's a brilliant manager. And I just went over to them and I said, guys, are you really serious about getting rid of Paul McGuinness? He will make you. He is the greatest manager. And I was right. So
what a lovely way for Louis Walsh to insert himself into someone else's story.
I know. Incredible way for Louis Walsh to somehow claim credit for you too.
Well, he's not claiming credit for one true voice, that's for sure.
No, exactly. The Hilton Theatre, right, where they are, has got a bad rep, yeah?
Sure.
So Mel Brooks, who's the producer of Young Frankenstein, describes it as barn-like. We've all done gigs that are barn-like, Susie.
It's got the vibe of a corn exchange.
It's got the vibe of corn. I don't know whether Mel Brooks knows what a corn exchange is, but picture a corn exchange. We do only too well. So he says it's a cavernous, barn-like feel with poor acoustics that made it difficult for audiences to hear jokes. We've all been there.
Oh, well, that's what you say to yourself, don't you? I don't think they could hear.
Yeah, I'm not sure they can hear my jokes. The good news is, Mel, I'm going to guess that Julie Taymor's script isn't going to be gag-heavy.
I think I'm right in saying that the Young Frankenstein did come to London not that long ago.
It did, yeah, I think
it did pretty well. It's had another moment, which sadly I don't think Spider-Man...
It wasn't in a barn, Susie.
Did they not do the King's Lynn Corn Exchange for their...
They didn't do the King's Lynn Corn Exchange, which was Mel's original choice until he went there. Frederick Zollo, who produced Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, says that there's also poor sight lines from some seats. There's acoustic dead spots as well, where people just can't hear anything.
Who built this Broadway theatre?
Well, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang did 1,600 performances in London, but it closed after 8 months in New York.
Wow.
Whether it's the fault of the theatre or not. 2007, The Pirate Queen, which was an epic romance with Irish dancing, did just 85 shows at the Hilton, but that might be the show because it sounds awful. Mel Brooks spent 14 million, as we've discussed, didn't get it back. Hot Feet, which was a musical set to the songs of Earth, Wind and Fire, that only did 3 months there. And the one thing Mel Brooks said is the rows of seats are too far apart. Do you know why he said that? You can leave too easily if you don't like the show. That's what he said.
But you do sort of, in the theatre, you do sort of want the audience to be on top of each other. It's how you get like a roll of laughter.
It's a bad theatre they've chosen. On top of everything else, they've chosen a shit theatre.
But it sounded like they didn't have much choice.
They didn't have much choice, I suppose. Disney basically owns all of New York's theatres. And the problem is also, right, it is this thing of like, it's very difficult to get a successful show in a theatre. Mm-hmm. So if you get one, it just stays in the theatre for ages. So the other theatres that aren't getting lucky with a successful show just look like they're doing a string of unsuccessful shows.
Yeah.
But it's because it's difficult to hit upon a successful show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true.
To defend it.
I know you're shooting your next special at the Hilton, so don't worry.
I am shooting my next special. Do you know what? I just think 1,800 people in New York in a place that's barn-like screams Josh Widdicombe.
Yeah, they want to hear your stuff on Greg Wallace.
The good news is I won't be able to sell that many tickets in New York, so we can leave the acoustic black spots as empty seats. So there's all these casting issues, right? And we're talking about, like, obviously you're casting Peter Parker, Mary Jane. Can I just have one aside, which is my favourite ever Spider-Man story, which is Peter Parker and Mary Jane. In Spider-Man Reign in 2006-07, it's like a dystopian future, and he's alone, Peter Parker, after Mary Jane has died. And it turns out that radioactive Spider-Man bite, which gave Peter his powers, has corrupted his bodily fluids and made them poisonous. So basically, he spermed her to death.
Oh.
Is that the sound?
That's terrible.
It's awful, isn't it?
What was that noise? That was disgust.
That was disgust.
Yeah.
So, I'm just an aside into my favourite Spider-Man story. By 2009, this schedule is going wrong on this play, right?
Yeah.
It's getting pushed back by 18 weeks due to the set building delays, which is the first postponement. No one can work out how to do this scene with a web, which is essentially a net that would work within the set, right? Obviously, a net is used to catch things on, right?
Yeah.
The net, strangely, is a really difficult thing to do in a busy theatre because anything it touches, it catches on, if that makes sense.
Right, okay.
Fred Gallo, the technical director, he comes up with a way of solving it, right? And it's going to cost $1 million, right? He's pretty confident, so they go, fuck it. It's only $1 million, right?
Okay, so at this point, they're just working out all the technical stuff. The actors aren't in yet or anything. They're just trying to...
They're 18 weeks delayed. They've had a problem with the net. They've spent $1 million to solve it, $1 million to solve it. Then casting issues begin. February 2009, opening night had been announced and the group tickets are already on sale, right? On the Oscars red carpet, Evan Rachel Wood confirms that she will be playing MJ. Big scoop.
Yeah, huge.
She says the show is incredible. That's February 2009. March 2009, Evan Rachel Wood withdraws without reason. 2 weeks later, a 1-hour teaser of the show is due to be performed for ticket agents, right? Jim Sturgis, who had been in basically as Spider-Man from the original read-through, is unable to get back from shooting on a thing called The Way Back. So a replacement Peter Parker has to be found as well. So they haven't got either of their principal two cast, right?
Okay.
Patrick Page is originally going to be the Green Goblin, but it transpires that he is severely depressed, so he can't do it. And then Julie soon gets word that Alan Cumming wants to play the Green Goblin, right? Mm-hmm. Alan's in. Yeah, he's worked with Julie on the Titus and Tempest. And then Reeve Carney is cast as Spider-Man. Just before his band released their single Love Chase Me, the video for the single features Evan Rachel Wood, and soon after, she tells Julie, fuck it, I will play MJ after all.
Wow, okay.
Yeah?
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of twists and turns.
So it's cast. It's ready.
But none of them are in the rehearsal room yet.
None of them are in the rehearsal room yet. They've got to do the ticket thing in 2 weeks, an hour-long thing, and then the money problems start. And we will deal with the money problems in the next episode because the money goes absolutely out of control, and then the tech rehearsals begin, and then the injuries begin. That will be in the next episode, which is available now to fan club members, or we'll see you in a few days. Susie, thank you very much.
I'm going to go and listen to you too.
If you're looking for a night out on the town, you just found me. I'm a $65 million circus tragedy. I'm not rolling, baby, rolling in the green, but I'm unique, a freak. I'm the new Coney Island, and all the rides are open and free. I'm me. All the weirdos in the world are here right now in New York City. All the brazen boys and girls dressed to kill without pity. All the weirdos from out of town, and all the freaks always around. All the weirdos in the world are here in New York City tonight. Here in New York City tonight. I got a crew, a party, animal mutants by my side. Demon hairdo, evil dressers who just won't be denied. The crossroads of the world.